Be prepared. It's happening whether you're aware of it or not. Alignments like this don't show up unless something big is about to crack open, and tomorrow it will. The Moon is aligning with two major planets tomorrow, Saturn and Neptune. That alone is rare. But here's the twist, both of those planets are in retrograde, and that's when everything changes. Tomorrow, July 17th, is not a normal day. It's the kind of alignment that cracks something open, something real, and something that's already been pushing on your chest, even if you haven't realized it yet. If something hits hard tomorrow, it's not random, it's not just a weird day. This alignment is a trigger, and it doesn't just shake the sky, it shakes the structure of your life. Oh, and if something recently pushed you to see the truth about yourself, or maybe even someone else, feel free to share it. And if you want, you could even add 222s along with it, if you want to align with this shift that's taking place right now. And be prepared, because you're about to have a realization that might flip your entire understanding of your manifestations and what's actually been driving your life. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. I'll go over exactly what that is later. So stay with me, but before you decide how to handle tomorrow, there's one thing you haven't considered. And if you miss it, everything you do next might feel like a waste. You might try to fix something tomorrow, push something forward, take responsibility, show up, and it might feel like nothing happens. No reward, no result, no reaction, just a weird void, like you threw your energy into a black hole. That is not failure, that is Saturn retrograde. This transit doesn't reward effort, it dissects it. It shows you where you've been giving your energy but getting nothing back. It shows you what you've been loyal to, but that was never loyal to you. You might even spend hours trying to fix something that secretly doesn't want to be fixed. And the truth is, you already know what that is. This energy is here to rip that truth out from wherever you've buried it. If you make a promise just to keep the peace, you'll regret it by the 18th. There's a strange pressure in the air right now, a quiet undertow pulling you into agreements, commitments, or conversations you're not fully behind. Maybe it's a subtle comment, a text that implies responsibility, a smile you force when someone asks you for more of your time, energy, or presence, and without even realizing it, you say yes, not because it's right, but because it's easier, because in the moment, peace feels more important than truth. But this isn't a week for people-pleasing. Not with Neptune clouding clarity and Saturn sharpening the consequences. Here's the trap. Neptune in retrograde blurs the boundaries. It'll have you convincing yourself that it's no big deal, that you can handle it, that you'll figure it out later. It wants the vibe to stay smooth. But Saturn is keeping receipts, and on the 18th, it's coming back to ask, why did you agree to that? And more importantly, what did it cost you to say yes when you meant no? Don't mistake silence for peace. Sometimes it's just the sound of a boundary being buried alive. If you say yes just to avoid discomfort now, you're signing up for a bigger discomfort later. Something about this week is testing your integrity, not in public, but in the small private moments where you bend just slightly too far. And if you're already in the middle of one of those promises, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're already feeling the weight of something that wasn't even yours to carry. Watch closely. The discomfort isn't random. It's Saturn making sure you don't lie to yourself again. You'll see a small sign that you're not where you used to be. It won't be dramatic. It won't announce itself. In fact, if you're not paying attention, you might miss it entirely. It might look like you reacting differently to the same old trigger. Maybe you don't respond. Maybe you do, but with clarity, this time instead of spiraling. It might be you realizing you no longer want something you used to crave, or maybe you want it, but you no longer need it. That difference, it's everything. This is how deep change shows up. Not with fireworks, but with shifts so quiet, they almost feel underwhelming. Real transformation doesn't scream, it just stops repeating the past. The alignment of Saturn and Neptune in retrograde brings a strange kind of mirror. Not the kind that shows you who you are, but the kind that shows you who you're not anymore. But you're not that version anymore. And tomorrow, or the day after, or sometime before the 18th, you'll catch a glimpse of that. It might come through a comment someone makes, through a strange calm during a normally triggering moment, through a decision you make that last year would have felt impossible. Pay attention, you're not imagining the shift, it's real. Have you noticed how loud everything feels right now? The sounds, the people, the lights, even the conversations that used to feel normal might suddenly feel too much. You might walk into a room and feel like the energy just hits you. You don't want to talk. You don't want to explain. You don't even want to be perceived. This isn't just moodiness. This is Pisces moon meeting Neptune in retrograde. It's like your emotional radar just got dialed way up and you're picking up signals you normally wouldn't notice, except now they're loud and constant and overwhelming. Some days, your nervous system is not overreacting, it's just finally being honest. You might find yourself avoiding places you used to love. That busy coffee shop feels like a hurricane. That group chat feels like static in your skull. Even scrolling your phone might feel like your brain is running too many tabs at once. The energy right now is soft, but hypersensitive, and that's the catch. It doesn't scream, it leaks in, which is why it's so easy to miss until you're already drained, overstimulated, and wondering why everything suddenly feels too much. So if your body starts asking for silence, give it silence. If your energy starts shrinking in crowds, don't force it to expand. This isn't the moment to push through stimulation. This is the moment to get quiet enough to hear what's underneath it, because underneath all the noise, something is trying to speak, but it doesn't yell, it whispers, and if you keep drowning it in motion, you'll miss what it's trying to tell you. Stillness isn't laziness, it's where your real instincts start to come back online. This is the twist most people don't see coming. You've been trying to manifest. You've been visualizing, journaling, trying to stay high vibe, trying to align, but something feels off. Like no matter how many times you write it down, it still slips away. Like no matter how hard you focus, it doesn't land. Here's the truth. This moon is about to make crystal clear. Most people aren't manifesting from vision. They're manifesting from panic, from urgency, from fear. You want the money because you're scared. You want the relationship because you're lonely. You want the move, the change, the shift because you're trying to get out of something, not because you're anchored in where you're going. And the moon doesn't lie. When it lines up like this with Saturn watching and Neptune dissolving illusions, it pulls the curtain back. You don't get to keep pretending your goals are clean if they're really just survival mechanisms in disguise. Manifestation doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you're vibrating. And if you're vibrating stress, if your whole body is clenched in desperation, the signal gets jammed. You end up chasing instead of creating, reacting instead of initiating. So this is the moment you're going to feel it. The moment where the thing you've been trying to call in starts to feel weird, off, misaligned, not because it's wrong, but because you've been reaching for it from the wrong state. Let that be your wake-up call. This moon isn't here to punish you. It's here to pause you, so you can stop forcing outcomes and start asking real questions. The second you shift your energy from fear to clarity, everything will start to make more sense. And the best part, you'll realize you were never far away from what you wanted. You were just too stressed to recognize it. You'll try to explain it, and the words just won't come out right. The feeling is clear, the reaction is real, but the sentence, the explanation, it fumbles. There's a strange tension in the air, like you know something is happening inside you. But every time you open your mouth to name it, it slips away or lands wrong. You say too much or not enough. You overshare or you freeze. And here's why. Saturn restricts. Neptune confuses. The moon amplifies. You're emotionally full but verbally jammed. This is the cocktail of miscommunication, the kind that starts with a genuine feeling and ends in an argument that never needed to happen. Or worse, a complete emotional shutdown because you can't figure out how to say what's going on without sounding crazy, or dramatic, or too much. Not everything you're feeling needs to be translated into language. Some things are meant to be felt, not explained. This isn't about being emotionally immature, it's about being emotionally flooded. There's a deep swirling undertow right now, and the more you try to intellectualize it, the more frustrated you'll get. So give yourself permission to not have the right words today. Give yourself permission to feel without performing. The people who are meant to understand will, and the ones who need paragraphs, logic and proof, they're not your safe space right now. Instead of trying to articulate what feels too big or too abstract, redirect it, create, move, rest, cry, breathe, walk. Let the emotion live through you, not get trapped in endless attempts to package it. Because that's the real danger right now. not the feeling itself, but the pressure to make it make sense. And if you can sit with it, really sit with it, without explaining, fixing, or decoding it, you'll notice something strange happens. The heaviness lifts, the fog clears, and the frustration passes faster than you expected, because sometimes the clarity doesn't come when you push it. It comes when you stop trying so hard to translate your soul into sentences. You're calm. You've already been through the storm. You've cried, processed, unraveled, rebuilt. You've had the breakdown, you've had the breakthrough, and now someone else is just getting started. Out of nowhere, someone close to you starts spiraling over a conversation you already made peace with, a decision you've already mourned, a realization you accepted months ago, and it hits you. They're just now waking up to something you've already healed. This is the retrograde delay effect, and you're about to watch it in real time. Not everyone heals on your timeline. Some people stall until the universe forces their hand. Saturn retrograde has a long memory. And Neptune doesn't erase things, it delays them, which means a lot of people who avoided the hard truths earlier this year are now being cornered by them. And you're the mirror, your peace, your distance, your growth. It's making them realize what they haven't faced. That's why it feels like their chaos is knocking at your door. But don't answer it. Don't go back just because someone else is late to the lesson. Don't let their emotional emergency pull you into a reality you already graduated from. You can hold compassion without getting entangled. You can stay grounded while they swirl. And maybe that's the quiet win here. Not needing to be the fixer, not needing to over-explain how far you've come. Just being the evidence, just embodying the growth, because when someone else finally sees what you saw long ago, you don't need to say, "I told you so." You just need to keep walking. You've already done the work. Don't undo it by getting dragged back in. Your healing is not invalidated by someone else's delay. It's just proof that you are ahead of the curve. There's an itch under your skin that no routine can scratch. You're pacing, scrolling, getting up, sitting down, starting something, and abandoning it 10 minutes later. It feels like you're restless for no reason, like something's off, but you can't name what. But here's the truth. There is a reason, and it's not chaos, it's activation. Restlessness isn't a sign you're lost. It's a signal that something inside you is waking up. The Pisces moon is stirring your emotional waters, and with Neptune and Saturn both in play, that stirring doesn't feel logical. It feels irrational, low-level, maybe even irritating, but that doesn't mean it's useless. This isn't the breakdown kind of agitation. This is the shift kind, the kind that sneaks in sideways. The kind that moves you from inside without requiring a collapse first. This is when people start clearing out the drawer they've avoided for months. This is when you suddenly realize you can't stay in that job, that city, that dynamic. This is when a small impulsive decision leads to a larger wave of clarity. You might not have a dramatic story to attach to it, but you'll notice you're acting differently. You're craving change, not because you're broken, but because you're ready. And that's the quiet revolution happening here. You don't need a full meltdown to start making moves anymore. You're learning to feel the shift before the collapse. You're noticing the signs without needing a crisis to confirm them. That's emotional evolution. That's spiritual maturity. So don't ignore the restlessness. Don't shove it away. Let it move you, even if it starts small. A conversation, a new boundary, a long walk you didn't know you needed. This energy wants motion, not perfection, forward, not final. Restlessness is your soul's way of whispering, there's more for you than this, and the more you follow that feeling without guilt, without second guessing, the more aligned your next steps will be, even if they don't make perfect sense yet. Try to force it today, and it'll push right back. Try to hustle your way through the fog, and you'll just end up exhausted. The harder you grip, the more slippery everything becomes. This is not a make-it-happen kind of day. It's a listen-to-the-resistance kind of day. Some doors stay closed, not to punish you, but to redirect you toward what actually fits. The energy right now is gentle but firm. It's not here to punish, it's here to guide, and part of that guidance is friction. You'll feel it when you try to force a conversation that doesn't want to happen, when you try to write, build, or create something that's not landing. When you try to push through an interaction that clearly needs space, it's not failure, it's feedback. Neptune slows, Saturn tightens, the moon absorbs. That trio doesn't reward force, it rewards alignment. And alignment doesn't always feel efficient, but it is effective. So if something is feeling 10 times heavier than it should, don't bulldoze it. Pause, reframe, ask yourself, is this hard because it's wrong or because I'm approaching it in the wrong way? Sometimes it's not the thing that's the problem, it's the angle, and today is a day that reveals exactly where you've been pushing uphill without realizing there's an easier path right next to you. It doesn't mean give up, it doesn't mean quit, it just means stop forcing and start listening, because the truth is, not everything that resists you is against you. Sometimes that resistance is the very thing keeping you from wasting your energy on something that was never going to work in the way you imagined. Today's resistance is tomorrow's realignment, if you pay attention. So yes, things may feel slower today, but slower isn't worse. Slower is wiser, and if you can let go of the need to win, or finish, or prove something, you'll see that what does move, moves much easier and with a lot more power. You don't need to have all the answers to know you're not off track. Not everything about this alignment is going to feel comfortable, and that's exactly the point. Sometimes the universe shifts the ground before it shows you the destination, and that shift, it doesn't always arrive with clarity. It arrives with tension, with strange timing, with the sense that something's coming, but it's not quite here yet. This moon, sitting so close to Saturn and Neptune, both retrograde, isn't interested in linear progress. It's not trying to keep you on schedule, it's trying to get you aligned with truth, and truth doesn't always fit inside your current expectations. Sometimes the timing is delayed, so the lesson can arrive first. This isn't a detour, this is an energetic checkpoint, a cosmic recalibration, where your choices, especially the quiet ones, matter more than ever. If you're feeling a bit out of rhythm, like things aren't moving fast enough or making sense, just know this, it's guidance, slowed down on purpose, so you don't miss what actually matters, because this transit, it has a long memory. Saturn will revisit what you choose now, and Neptune, it's dissolving whatever illusion you've outgrown, even if you didn't realize you were still clinging to it. You might see certain plans stall. You might hit emotional waves that seem to come from nowhere. You might find yourself questioning something you were so sure about just a week ago, but that unraveling isn't working against you, it's working through you. Just because it doesn't happen now doesn't mean it's not happening. The universe isn't ignoring you, it's editing, filtering out what doesn't serve the long run, creating space so that when the real thing shows up, whether it's a relationship, a decision, an opportunity, or a version of you that finally feels right, you're ready for it. This moment might not be about answers, it might be about endurance, holding your center while things reconfigure in the background, letting go of timelines that were never yours to begin with, and trusting that what's meant for you doesn't need to be forced. Because yes, the moon amplifies emotion, yes, Saturn restricts, and yes, Neptune can confuse. But together, they invite surrender. Not to give up, but to let go of what was never meant to stay. You're not being tested, you're being prepared. So if tomorrow feels heavy, still, or emotionally strange, breathe. You're not lost, you're not behind, you're simply being softened so the truth can actually reach you. The story isn't falling apart, it's finally being written right. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.